Welcome to my next Lost. Season 4 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important. If you are caught up to the point where I am at rewatching or watching Lost, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And full disclosure, I've already seen the TV series Lost 3 other times. It's in my top 5 favorite TV shows of all time, as a matter of fact. Love this show. Want to rewatch it and let it resonate and do these really detailed reviews for you, but I'm not the only one that's currently watching Lost. There are other people. The legendary Crazy Coffee Man, who you see in my comment section for Dexter, Dexter Original Sin, Dexter New Blood, any Dexter news-related videos, Breaking Bad, Lucifer, and some physical media-related videos, is actually watching Lost for the first time. So, join us on the journey and let's discuss this awesome and amazing show in the comment section. However, I don't want to see any spoilers past this episode. So with all that said, this will be Lost. Season 4, Episode 10. The title of this episode is called Something Nice Back Home. And this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. Juliet repeatedly attempts to wake Jack from his slumber and finally regains consciousness, but he is very disoriented. He gets up and leaves his tent with Juliet, and then we have Rose, Bernard, Sun, and Jin argue with Daniel, Faraday, and Charlotte. Bernard confronts Daniel about why the satellite phone got a signal the night before, but now cannot contact the freighter. Jack intervenes and agrees with Bernard that Daniel and Charlotte have been lying to everyone. He reassures the survivors that eventually the freighter people will come for Daniel and Charlotte, and when they do, they will all be ready. Jack tells everyone to just remain patient and that he will keep his promise to get them off the island, and he walks off, bends over in pain, and faints. To our flash forward, Jack is in bed when the phone rings. His receptionist, Jane, reminds him of an 11 a.m. consult with Mrs. Berenberg, which has moved up the previous day. She says she called since she knows he's got not good with his calendar. A pair of peach lace panties are lying on the floor beside the bed. Jack picks them up, smiles, and then tosses them into the clothes hamper. In the kitchen, he steps on a Millennium Falcon toy. He then places 2 partially full wine glasses in the sink and makes coffee. He picks up the newspaper sports page on the counter, which features a story about the Yankees sweeping the Red Sox. Oh boy. Causing him to scoff. Jack goes into the bathroom. A woman is in the shower. Looking in the mirror, Jack's appendectomy scar is faintly visible. He opens the shower door to greet her, and she tells him that she bought him a new razor. He replies, "Oh, you don't like the scruff?" The shower turns off, and Kate steps out of the shower. She smiles brightly. Jack says, "Good morning," and they kiss. Jack is reading Aaron a story from Alice in Wonderland, or Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, as Kate looks on from the doorway. Jack realizes Aaron is asleep, so he turns out the light in the hall. Kate tells Jack that he's a natural. Jack reminisces that his father used to read him that book. Kate says that it's nice to hear Jack say some good things about his dad. Jack tells her somewhat wistfully that his father was a good storyteller. Kate tells Jack that she loves seeing him with Aaron and that she's glad he changed his mind and glad he's there with her. Jack replies, "Me too," picking her up. She wraps her legs around him as they kiss, and he carries her down the hall while she laughs. Jack comes to back on the island as Kate rushes toward him. She worries, feeling his forehead and commenting that he has a fever, but he brushes it off as need for rest. Sawyer, Claire, and while carrying Aaron and Miles walk through the jungle. When they reach a clearing, Claire tells Sawyer she's feeling much better, but that she still has a headache. "At least I'm not seeing things anymore," she says. Miles asks her what she used to see, but Sawyer puts a stop to that conversation. Suddenly, Miles slows and looks uneasy as whispers and flashes swirl around. He stops walking, listens, and asks, "Who's Danielle and Carl?" He pushes aside the leaf litter and finds their bodies semi-buried in the mud, flies swirling. Sawyer asks Miles how he knew about the two and then accuses Miles' team of killing them. But Miles denies that. He is on the same team with Keamy and his men. Miles is upset to discover the bodies as he didn't sign up for this. Claire just wants to leave and Sawyer escorts her away, promising that everything will be fine once they make it back to the beach. Jack takes more antibiotics when Juliet comes in. He dismisses the stomach pain as food poisoning and dehydration, but she disagrees. Jack tries to deter her, but she insists on examining him. She feels his abdomen and tells him that he has appendicitis. He tells her that it hasn't ruptured yet, but Juliet says their only option is to take it out before it does. Juliet speaks to Sun and gives her a list of medical supplies needed for the appendectomy and asks her to go with Jin to the staff to get them. Sun tells Juliet that she doesn't know what the instruments look like, so Daniel Faraday offers to help, explaining that he has performed animal autopsies in the past and has experience with tools needed. Sun voices her distrust, but Charlotte responds antagonistically. Daniel berates Charlotte about being distant and pessimistic and causing the survivors distrust of them. He repeats his offer of aid, assuring everyone that he and Charlotte are only scientists, that they didn't sign up for whatever else is going on, and that they want everyone to be safe. Juliet accepts their help, but gives Jin a gun and tells him to shoot Daniel or Charlotte in the leg if either of them try to run. Juliet then asks for everyone to prepare a sterile environment for the surgery. Claire is carrying Aaron as Miles watches them. Sawyer tells Miles he isn't to talk to Claire, look at Claire, or even think about Claire, and that he officially has a 20-foot restraining order on Claire. Miles listens to Sawyer and retreats. While washing down a table for surgery, Bernard sees that Rose looks unsettled. The couple discusses why Jack got sick. Bernard chalks it up to Jack's illness as to bad luck, but Rose thinks that it isn't a coincidence that Jack has fallen ill just when they are about to be rescued. She is worried since she knows that people do not get sick on the island, they get better. Juliet shaves Jack's abdomen, but Jack is apprehensive as she prepares him for surgery. He asks her if she has experience with this type of procedure, and she informs him that this is not her first time performing an appendectomy, having done a lot of them in her residency, but that was a long time ago. But it does not seem to appease him. He asks her if she is certain because she is shaving 2 inches above where the incision should have to be made, and Juliet assures him yet again. Jack decides that he doesn't want to be unconscious during the operation and wants to walk Juliet through it, and for Kate to hold up a mirror that would let him watch the surgery's progress. Juliet doesn't like the idea and suggests that anyone is in the tent with them during the surgery. It should be someone with medical experience, like Bernard. Jack insists that he wants Kate to be there holding the mirror, and Juliet concedes. Back to our flash forward. Jack is finishing the consult with Mrs. Berenberg, giving her instruction for her surgery the following day, and they depart in the hospital lobby. Jack does a double take seeing Christian Shepherd wearing the same blue suit Jack repeatedly saw him in on the island, walking through the lobby. Jack's co-worker, Eric Stevenson, calls his name twice to get his attention, wanting his opinion on a spinal x-ray in L4. The receptionist then tells Jack that Dr. Stillman from Santa Rosa Hospital is calling about a friend of yours. Jack goes to Santa Rosa Hospital to meet with Dr. Stillman, who says that the patient has been refusing his medication and isn't sleeping. Jack asks about therapy, but Dr. Stillman says therapy is useless because the patient believes Dr. Stillman isn't real. Jack goes in to see Hurley. Hurley says he isn't taking his medication because the Oceanic Six are actually dead and never escaped the island and now are stuck in heaven. Hurley asks Jack about his day, and Jack describes his life with Kate and Aaron. Hurley points out that Jack didn't want to be with Kate and Aaron before, but Jack replies that he changed his mind after Kate's trial. Hurley says that Jack's happy life with Kate and Aaron is proof that they're in heaven, as are his visits from Charlie, who regularly talks to him on the beach outside of the hospital lawn. He tells Jack that when Charlie visited him the day before, he had told him of Jack's visit and also gave him a message for Jack, which he made Hurley write down so he would get it exactly. Hurley reads it off a scrap of paper. "You're not supposed to raise him, Jack." Hurley asks him if him means Aaron. Jack is disturbed and tells Hurley to just take his meds. Hurley tells him that Charlie also said Jack will soon be getting a visitor of his own. Jin's son, Daniel, and Charlotte arrive at the staff. As they enter, Daniel offers to go in front of Charlotte to make sure that it is safe. They exchange a grin and a nod while Jin asks Sun in Korean if Charlotte realizes Daniel likes her. Sun replies that Charlotte knows because she is a woman. Charlotte looks back at them and smiles as they all walk into the station, which does not go unnoticed by Jin. So Jin he pays attention to details. Miles tries to persuade Claire to let him help out with Aaron because he is good with kids. Sawyer begins to remind Miles of the restraining order when a rustling comes from the bush. As Sawyer goes to investigate, Frank Lapidus runs out carrying his satellite phone and a first aid kit. He's alarmed and addresses Miles first, while Sawyer seems surprised that the men know each other. Frank tells them that there is no time because Kimi and his men are on the way, and if he finds them, he will kill them all, so they must hide immediately. They hide in nearby bushes and watch as Kimi and his men arrive with Mayhew seriously injured. Lapidus looks at him and asks Kimi what happened. Kimi is evasive and asks where the helicopter is. Frank says it's not far. Aaron makes a little crying noise. Kimi hears something and suspiciously looks around. Frank urges Kimi and his men to get to the helicopter because it is starting to get dark and he will refuse to fly out on Faraday's coordinates in the dark. After a heavy pause, Kimi agrees and they head off. Back to our flash forward. Jack sits in his truck outside the Santa Rosa Medical Health Institute or Mental Health Institute, looking at the bench Hurley described. Later, he comes home and wakes Kate. She asks if he is working late, but he says he is out doing errands. Troubled, he asks her about the other night when she said he was a natural with Aaron. Jack asks her if she really thinks he is good at this, and she assures him empathetically that he is. After a long pause, Jack emotionally asks Kate to marry him. Aww. He pulls out a box with a diamond ring from his pocket and places it on Kate's finger. She tearfully replies, "Of course I will, yes," and they embrace. Yay! Jin calls Charlotte over, back on the island, of course. He says to her in Korean, "I know you understand me." While she tries to pretend that she doesn't understand him, he tells her that he knows she speaks Korean because he saw her smile when Sun was speaking to him about her at the medical station. Charlotte still acts as if she doesn't understand until Jin says that if she does not stop lying, he will break Daniel Faraday's fingers one at a time. In Korean, Charlotte asks what he wants, and Jin answers that he wants Sun on the helicopter when it leaves the island. Charlotte asks, what about the others? But Jin cuts her off, saying his only concern is for Sun and the baby. She nods and Jin leaves. As he leaves, she smiles. So Jin, well, that's a little selfish, Jin. Everybody should survive, not just you and Sun and the baby. Juliet, Kate, and Bernard prepare for the operation. Bernard suggests to Jack that he knock him out with the chloroform that was brought back from the medical station, saying, "Wouldn't you rather be dreaming about something nice back home?" But Jack refuses. Bernard injects local anesthesia, and Juliet makes the first incision while Kate holds the mirror, enabling Jack to see. Jack grunts and yells at Juliet as Juliet begins to spread the incision. Kate becomes increasingly upset as Jack repeats her name, at first to get her to adjust the mirror's position, and then without a clear purpose. Kate starts to cry, but Juliet takes over, ordering Bernard to knock Jack out and for Kate to leave. Bernard places the chloroform rag over Jack's mouth as he passes out. Back to our flash forward, Jack reviews Ryan Laker's X-ray recording that there is there's on something on the posterior area of the lumbar, and he is recommending a biopsy. He is interrupted by a persistent beeping of a low battery warning on a smoke detector. He goes to the reception area, climbs onto a chair, and pulls out the battery. After climbing down, Jack has started to hear his name called out by his father. He turns to see Christian Shepherd sitting in the lobby again in the blue suit with white shoes he is seen wearing around the island. As he is still trying to take it in, Dr. Stevenson approaches him from behind and calls his name. He turns to respond to her, and when he turns back towards the chairs, his father is gone. Jack is distracted, and Erica asks if he is okay. He asks her for a script for clonazepam, stating that he has a lot going on right now, including a heavy caseload and his new engagement. She reminds him that an engagement is supposed to reduce stress, not create more, and suggests he talk to somebody. He says he'll do that. When Jack gets home, he hears Kate talking on the phone. She says that Jack never gets home before 8 and can stay for at least an hour. She gets off the phone when she realizes Jack is home. He asks her who was on the phone, and Kate tells him it was Noreen, another mom from the park. Jack says that Kate has never mentioned her before. Kate waves this off and kisses Jack and heads upstairs. Jack gets out his new prescription and washes 2 pills down with a bottle of beer. Oh, Jack, you shouldn't do that. That night, Claire awakens back on the island to find Aaron isn't beside her. She looks across the campfire to see Christian Shepherd holding Aaron. Claire recognizes him and exclaims, "Dad?" Bernard tells Kate that everything went fine, that Juliet did well, and Kate can go back inside. She enters while Juliet stitches Jack's incision and reassures Kate that he will be fine. She tells Kate that Jack kissed her the other day, hardly looking from her work. Juliet continues to tell Kate that the kiss was nice, but it wasn't for her, but for him, and that she thinks he was trying to prove that he doesn't love someone else. The women understand each other, and Kate thanks her for saving Jack's life. Juliet tells Jack that she knows he's awake, and he opens his eyes. Back to our flash forward. Kate comes home to find Jack drunk, sitting in the living room with empty bottles of wine and beer. He confronts her about where she was and why Veronica, the nanny, was still at the house late in the day when Kate should have been home. Kate says she was out running errands. He presses her, and she kneels by him, asking him to just trust her on this. Jack tells her about his visit with Hurley, saying that he went without her because Hurley might have upset her because he's crazy. He demands that she tell him where she really was. Kate begs Jack to leave it alone, but Jack persists. She finally admits that she was doing something that she promised Sawyer she would do. When Jack asks why she would keep this secret from him, Kate tearfully tells him that it's because she knew Sawyer wouldn't want her to tell Jack. Angry, Jack yells that he is the one who's there for her and who saved her, not Sawyer, who made his choice to stay while Jack came back. Kate becomes upset and says that she can't have Jack drunk and acting like this around her son. Jack yells at her that she isn't even related to Aaron. Just as Aaron toddles in, crying, Kate picks up Aaron and looks at Jack as he turns and walks away. Sawyer, back on the island, notices that Claire is not there. He asks Miles where she is, and Miles says he saw her take off into the jungle. Sawyer doesn't believe that Claire would wander off alone, but Miles says she wasn't alone. She was walking with someone she called Dad. Sawyer demands to know why Miles didn't try to stop her, and Miles mentions his restraining order. As Sawyer is about to rough up Miles, he hears Aaron crying. He finds Aaron on his blanket at the base of a tree all alone. He picks up the child and yells for Claire repeatedly, and that's what ends this episode of Lost. So, good episode. Some slow moments, some really good moments. I'm going to give it an 8.4 out of 10. My characters of the episode are going to be Jack, Kate, and Juliet. I like the whole dynamic between Jack, Kate, and Juliet. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Lost and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Lost. You'll be interacting with me as well as the legendary Crazy Coffee Man. What would you score the episode? Who would be your character of the episode and whatnot? And anything else that you want to add, but no spoilers past this episode. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. you're watching the video anyway, subscribe to the channel, join the team, help me get over 100,000 subscribers, show your damn support, and be a part of something special, and you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.